So the last game I want to talk about today is this our last game?
No, I got one. We
No, you have
we've
one
literally
more.
been live for like 50 minutes. We spent too much time thinking about all the
That's
different
funny.
Time of Legend series versus getting
Okay,
to the games.
I'll be quick with this game, because it's a smaller party game called Wits and Wagers, a classic party game designed by Dominique Crapuchet and published by NorthStar Games. So this is a game that has been around for a long time.
Long time.
Uh, a long time.
Long
This was
time.
actually, yes, a long time. This is actually a game that I played with this couple before I was even into board games. He was super into board games. They invited us over. They lived across the street from us, and we played this. And I was like, "That's super fun." And then I did nothing about that for years. And then I ended up being in this guy's game group for like 2 years. Anyway, so I played it
Nice.
back then and totally forgot about it. And then I saw it again in the game store. I was like, I remember this game. I want to play this, especially because in the summer we have a bunch of family activities. We just got finished with my wife's side family reunion. We have my side's family reunion coming up here in a couple of weeks. And this game we played, I brought out and forced my wife's family to play with us, and it went over very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this game, it is a trivia game that you are not intended to know the answers, and it is also a game where you bet money, fake poker chip money. I guess you could bet actual money if you want. But in this game, a person will present a question, and the answer to that question is always going to be a number. Uh, so an example of a question from this last one was like, how old was Oprah Winfrey when she first started at Chicago's news station or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so ever like there's no one who knows that off the top of their head in theory. At least our group they didn't. So everyone puts down an answer on their board with a
I
white.
know.
Of course, you know. The biggest Oprah fan I know is you. And so
Yee.
everyone puts down their answer secretly, and then everyone hands it to the person to lay out on a board. And the board that comes with it, I think, is like a felt mat. I'll get to what I played with later, but and then they are arranged s- smallest to largest,
Yep.
and then people. The players will bet money on what they think the one closest to the right answer is, and the correct answer is considered to be the one closest to the right answer without going over. So, Price is Right style. And so then they'll bet money on that. Everyone has starts with two poker chips. A poker chip is worth $100 each, and then if you could just bet money on it, if you're right, the board pays out depending on what the answer is. So it could be anywhere from like 1 to 1 to 6 to 1. Because if it's a very wide range, it's a bit more risky to be on the fringes, right, on the edges. Uh, but this game goes over so well. I've played it a couple times now. This copy, I've played it with just 4 people, and this I think uh, we had 8 people. Is that right? 4 teams of 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Yes, and you can play like with as many people as you want. Like there can be 7 teams, and you just have to break everyone up into 7 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So if you anyway, and so it could be for a very big group as well. And it went over so well. So I actually played with the an expansion, the Vegas expansion, which comes with a big neoprene mat that is on one side is the base board, the basic Wits and Wagers board, and on the other side is a Vegas expansion, which has a bit more options to bet on, which we did not play that one, just play the base. But having this big neoprene mat of the board and with this game, I actually wasn't playing myself. I just ran it so everyone else could just play and have a good time, and it was actually super enjoyable for me, and it was just super fun. Like everyone was excited. It's super easy to get into. It's not very heavy. The whole game plays over 7 questions, so games don't take more than like 45 minutes as a
Mm-hmm.
party game. It's just probably one of the best party games for big groups I've played in a long time,
Yeah.
and it is deserving. It sounds like you have played this game before.
Yep. I have. The end.
Cool.
So we talked about this near Christmas. So my mom's side of the family runs like a Christmas game thing. So instead of exchanging presents, we all just kind of chip in money, play a game, and then we kind of divvy out the money. And it was So my brothers had run it for so long, and then they were like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I can just buy Wits and Wagers, and we can play Wits and Wagers. And it was great because then again, you split up into teams, and then from there, the top two teams that won, we could easily then, do something else from that. And each time we had a question, you kind of always had this audible groan or a kind of light bulb of like, a light bulb gasp, and they're like, and then so what they do is then they run over to like the other side of the house with their team, and they're just like scratching down on, their felt tip and whiteboard to be able to then submit their answer. And I also too played as more or less the game host. And that was probably as fun as everyone else that was playing because I knew the answer. Everyone around was like throwing out all these guesses, and so that was really fun for me to be able to lead that. So I full-heartedly agree about Wits and Wagers. I did not play with the game mat. The Target version I think is a little bit more on the less expensive side, just to be able to get you going. However, again, I can certainly appreciate the neoprene mat and the more Vegas style like betting, but that doesn't detract any from just kind of like it's all just component stuff, right? Like that's
right,
all
exactly,
that really
exactly.
matters.
I mean, actually, it does come with a whole other stack of questions too, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Like the same amount, but I mean, it's a great party game. It's just refreshing to find a good party game that you can teach in under 5 minutes, if that, and just get going. Especially when you see your family come together and have an enjoyable time together. That's the magic of board games right there.
Magic of board games.
It tickled all my fancies.
Oh, well, I'm not going to have a problem figuring out a title for this podcast, and that's for sure.
I'm here to help. Anyway, that is Wits and Wagers by NorthStar Games.
Yay.